Hey everybody. Everybody. I'm back. My phone died, sorry. But I got good news and I got bad news. Good news is I'm back. Bad news is I'm back. No, there's not much lightning going on left. We're gonna walk out in the yard and check it out, but and avert the June bugs, of course. But there's the moon. See if you can see it. Not my forehead. There it is. Oop. Ah. So my camera sucks pretty much. But no, there's not a lot of lightning. What's wrong, Ruby? What you doing, pretty? Baby. My hair on my mouth. What you doing, pretty? Princess? That's my girl. I love her. No, there's still some lightning. Let's see here. There we go. See if anybody comes back. Very awesome back there. See if anything epic happens. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, still a light show. Yeah, there's a little bit going on. Let's see here. Nobody's in here yet, so I will go ahead and turn it. And there we go. Ah, torchlight. I just realized that cord's in the way. Damn it. See, rotate this, turn this up like this. There we go. See if anybody comes back. On the off chance that nobody does come back, I'll go ahead and continue saying what I was saying. The thing about it is that we're not supposed to eat meat. And if you do eat meat, that means you're eating dead blood. Doesn't mean it in the sense of like a rare snake or a rare steak or a medium rare steak. It just means blood. If you eat anything containing life, which life is blood, then you're eating something you're not supposed to, and it kills the interferons in your body. Interferons not only combat COVID or corona, but it also prevents it. So in correlation with that, you have, I just totally went blank. Okay. So taking all of that in and understanding that you're not supposed to eat meat. Plus you have, God says not to kill. That's one of the 10 commandments. Jesus says that the one commandment you should follow is to love your Father with the Lord thy God with all your heart, all thy soul. And if you do that, then automatically all the other commandments will be fulfilled, be followed anyway. So, ooh, I heard an owl. If you follow the command, or if you love the Lord thy God with all your heart, then you're going to automatically follow all the other commandments. That includes not eating meat, because to kill means to kill, period. It doesn't say thou shalt not kill humans. It says thou shalt not kill, period. It doesn't say thou shalt not kill unless you're hungry. It says thou shalt not kill, period. It says thou shalt not kill some of the time. It says thou shalt not kill, period. So, thou shalt not kill. He also says in the Old Testament to let your hands not touch anything meant for destruction. It also says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 that you yourself are also animals, and that who is to say that an animal's spirit goes downwards while a human goes upward, or while man goes upwards. Or a human, not a man. Which is important to know the difference between human and a man. They're completely different. They're not the same thing. Man is celestial, human is earthly, physical, it's your body. Why is that not focusing? There we go. So, he also says in the Old Testament, he says, do not let your hands touch anything that was meant for destruction. So if you kill something, then you're obviously touching something meant for destruction. If you kill something, you're obviously breaking a commandment. If you assume that you have, oh, it also says in Ecclesiastes 3 that man does not have superiority over an animal. It also says, well, I know it says in Genesis, I believe, that God gave man dominion over everything. Dominion does not mean you get the right to murder something. Dominion means that you care and nurture for something. And if that is still even something people want to argue, Jesus, there says in the New Testament that Prince Bootleg Channel is here. That's exactly what it says. Yay! Hello! I was finishing up with what I was talking about a moment ago before my phone decided to die. I luckily do have one of the greatest chargers in the world, and I've got it up to 50. Well, I had it up to 50%. It's at 40 now. What I was saying, to backtrack and catch up here, is that we're not supposed to eat meat. He says in the Prince song, he says, don't you know that dead blood kills interferons? You know, that any virus can boot up and log on to you. Interferons is part of your immune system, and your immune system is what prevents you from getting sick. And I always get hung up right here, and I don't know why. Type 1 interferons are what it's proven now. It's clinically proven that type 1 interferons not only combat COVID and corona, but it also prevents it. So if you go to the biblical aspect of all of this, first of all, God tells you, thou shalt not kill. Nah, he doesn't say thou shalt not kill sometimes. He says thou shalt not kill, period. He doesn't say thou shalt not kill humans. He says thou shalt not kill, period. He says thou shalt not kill unless you're hungry and need to eat. He says thou shalt not kill, period. He says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, he says that who can discern whether a spirit of an animal descends downwards and the spirit of a human ascends upwards. He says that we are all of the same spirit, we all have the same creator, and we all come from dust, and to dust we shall return. And he says that man has no superiority over animals. And I know that people like to argue that in Genesis it says that God gave Adam dominion over all of the animals and birds and fish and whatnot. And he did. But dominion doesn't mean that you have the right to kill everything. It means that you care for everything. And if that's something that people would still even argue, it says later on that God took dominion away from man and gave it to Jesus. And so Jesus has dominion and authority over everything. Man no longer has it. It also says in the Old Testament to not... Good Lord, that scared the crap out of me. Baby, hush. It also says, boy, that's going to be annoying as hell. We'll walk away from it. And I'll turn the camera around. And there goes that damn alarm again. Okay. It also says in the Old Testament that, I think the lightning's all going to be that way. There we go. unless there's a car coming, and then I'll turn around real quick so I don't look stupid. Yeah, there's still some lightning back there. Not much, but there's some. He also says that let your hands not touch anything that was meant for destruction. So if you kill something, you automatically have to touch something that's meant for destruction. And that's a sin. Jesus says that, the disciples ask Jesus, they say, which commandment out of all these commandments is the most important to follow? And I mean, that's a stupid question, because obviously you're asking the Son of God which rule is best to follow when all of them should be the answer. But Jesus says, a new commandment I give to you. Love one another as I have loved you, as my Father in heaven loves you. And the most important commandment of all is to love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and all thy soul, and all thy mind, and all thy body. And if you do this, then all the other commandments hang on this one commandment. There's some lightning. If you love the God, you'll follow his rules. And that's the case. If you love God, you'll follow his commandments. So if it says thou shalt not kill, if it says don't let your hands touch anything meant for destruction, and if it says that you and an animal are no different, you're the same thing, well, then that's cannibalism. So ergo, don't kill anything. Well, to eat something, you have to kill it if it's something with breath in it. Plants do not have breath. Fruit does not have breath. They just don't have it. Wheat, grains, they don't have breath. They have life, but they don't have breath. Animals have breath. Humans have breath. Man and human are two different things. Man is celestial, ethereal, and human is earthly, it's flesh. And Jesus also tells you that the enemy is flesh, and that's who the enemy is. The enemy is flesh. It's the natural raw instincts and animal nature of a human, of anything that has breath. So don't eat meat. Don't kill, because you're breaking a commandment. If you eat meat, it kills the interferons in your body. Now, this is what I was getting to with the last, before my phone crapped out. My mom come home today, and I love my mom. I do. I love my mom. She's a swell person. I love her. She's beautiful. She's very loving, mostly, and she's like, you're not me. She loves you bunches. She loves me most of the time, but she, I don't know. We don't really butt heads anymore, but she gets mad at me a lot for everything. Just depends on what mood she's in. She's been really cool lately until today, but she's been cool after that too. But there was just this couple moments today. It was just crazy. But anyway, she comes home today, and I didn't hear her come in, and I was fixing to take the dog out, and I can't stop fidgeting with my hair. Yeah, so she comes home today, and I go to take my dog out, and she was putting groceries and stuff away, and she told me that she got a bunch of beans and peas and breads and stuff, and I didn't know she was talking to me at first, but I quickly realized that she was. And I looked at her, and I'm kind of going like this, because she looks like she's about to break down and cry, and I just couldn't understand it. I'm just kind of giving her this look, like, are you okay? Like, what is, okay, you got food, but what's so sad about getting food? And quickly found out. She tells me that they shut all the meat processing plants down. I don't know, today or yesterday. And in doing so, because I guess all of the workers, and I don't know which meat I guess all of them, but all of the meat processing plants and slaughterhouses and stuff, they've all been closed down due to COVID. So she said that there was no meat. And I told everybody about 2 weeks ago, I said, if there's anything that y'all are wanting, you better get it while you can, because you're not going to be able to for too much longer. We're about to run out of everything. This is the time right now where if you're going to go to a store to get your groceries and stuff, I strongly recommend you going and getting things to plant gardens, because that's going to be a smart thing to do. But anyway, she said she went to 3 different places today and everywhere was sold out. And we live in Seminole, so, well, we don't live in Seminole, we live outside of Seminole. The place that we live, it's not on the map. But in town, in Seminole, there's only a few places you can go anyway. But apparently, all places are sold out of meat. There's no meat anywhere. And I went, good, people don't need to eat meat. What is that little white thingy on my face? What is that? That's weird. I don't know if I like that. So apparently, but I went like this. I was like, good, people don't need to eat meat. It's wrong. It's a sin. And she goes, oh, Amber, I don't want to hear it. And I'm like, I'm just saying. And I went to tell her what I tell everybody. And she lost it. She said, I'm under enough stress, and just kind of freaked out for a moment. Anyway, she was not happy about it. But this is what I've been telling people, is that we're going to run out. Because we're running out. And there's no people to work and do it. And, I mean, I know she's upset about it. I know lots of people are upset about it, obviously. It's unbelievable that in less than 24 hours, all of the markets have run out of meat. Seriously. I'm just saying. That's incredible. And people wonder why there's so many people dying at such a young age when all they do is consume things that are not good for you. But anyway, this got me to thinking after that happened with her. It was not good. For like a split second. I don't fight anymore. I just won't do it. Once she starts going crazy mode, I just kind of walk away. I do that with everybody now. When I was younger, I was feisty. Ooh, I was really feisty. You have no idea. I was so feisty. I never lost a fight, ever. But now you couldn't pay me to fight. I won't do it. It's not worth it. I want to go to heaven, and I love God, and I just won't do it. What does Prince say in his song? You got to be well educated on the subject of fights. I mean, prevention of. Yeah, well, this girl right here got real educated with it real fast. So not worth it. So anyway, I got thinking about all of this and realized that this is 2020, and we just had Passover. Passover, I think, was from the 8th to the 14th. I think true Passover, the actual date of it this year was either the 13th or the 14th. I'm not sure. Maybe. But I got to thinking, holy shit. If you remember anything from Exodus chapter 11 and 12, it was exactly 3,000 years ago to this day, right here, 2020 marks the 3,000 year mark. And if you remember what I've been telling everybody about the 3 days thing, Jesus says, I will raise my people up on the 3rd day. The 3rd day started April 21st, 2016 at midnight, because the Jewish days, their calendar system, it goes from evening to evening. So, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's exactly 3,000 years to the day of Exodus, of Moses and Aaron and all that stuff. That being said, the 3rd day, we know this is the 3rd day. April 21st, 2016 was the first day, or the first moment. It's when it clicked over to the 3rd day. It's ironic because in, I think it's Exodus chapter 12, it says, if I can remember this right, Jehovah tells Moses and Aaron to go to Pharaoh and tell Pharaoh that to let my people go again. And if he doesn't, which he knew he wouldn't, and he caused him to have his heart hardened. So he was obstinate in doing so anyway. So he says, let my people go, and if you don't let my people go, I will take, and he specifies this, he says, I will take away your firstborn son. And not only that, but I will also take away all of the firstborn children from Egypt, from the land of Egypt. I will send my angel to wipe everybody out. And we know that the angel of death was a plague. And they went and they told Pharaoh, and Pharaoh didn't listen. And Moses and Aaron said to Jehovah, they said, hey, if you're what about your people? We're your people. What about your people? You're going to let that happen to your people? And Jehovah says, here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell all of my people, all the people, to take a lamb and sacrifice it. You're some special about a lamb. And to take its blood and smear it on your outposts and your doorways. These are your doorways. Just saying. Now back then, 3,000 years ago, it might have been literal. It could have been. It could have not been. If it was parabolically speaking, then I'm not sure exactly how to explain that. But I know that nowadays we have a sacrificial lamb. His name is Jesus Christ. That's our lamb. And his blood was already shed. His blood was already spilled for our sins. So we didn't have to smear anything on our doorposts. But I think that it's funny that, that being said, and keep that in mind, and I'll come right back to that, I promise. It was at the beginning of April, I think it was April 8th, I got a message on something, and the message said, it was a video message, and it was being spread around really fast. This guy was talking about how his friend who worked for the military, his friend leaked some information about how people on that day, I got it that night, or that evening, he said to tell everybody not to go out of their house past 11 o'clock. That at 11 o'clock there was going to be all these planes flying in the air, and they were going to be spraying chemicals, and the chemicals were to kill out the coronavirus. And now my internet connection's unstable. That's weird. I guess it's back to normal. But he says past 11 o'clock they're going to spray this chemical in the air while at night, and it's to help eliminate this COVID virus crap. I don't know if there was any truth to it or not. I don't know what the validity of it is, but I do know that it caused something in me to stir, and God basically, and I know I sound crazy for this, but whatever, God put it on me. I kept hearing in my head over and over, like a thought, mark your doors. Mark your doors. And so I went to my mom, and I told my mom, and she was like on board with it, shockingly. Me and her butt heads. We don't butt heads. She just doesn't, she shuts you down. Like, I mean, you can't even talk about God with her. She just shuts you down. She's one of the people that think that when it says Jesus is going to be coming in the clouds, she literally thinks he's going to be like riding a cloud or something with a she's set in her ways. So a lot of people are, and they're too scared, I guess, to be open to what I would call the truth, what is the truth, but they would consider it to be something that is not what they have learned, and they are too scared to consider the fact that maybe something that they were taught is wrong. So anyway, what was I saying? Crap. Oh yeah. Oh no, that was not what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying. Something about something. Oh, that. No, that's not what I was saying. I was past that. Oh, I told her to mark your doors. And so my mom, being the person that she is, she believed it, and she understood. She knew exactly what I was talking about. She went to do her version of that. I did my version of that. which is getting on your hands and knees, or getting on your knees and praying, marking your doors, repenting, talking to Jesus, giving it up to the one that made you. That's what I consider it to be. And I was under a complete understanding that was right in doing so. They did the same thing, but they just did it a little more Pentecostal style. To each their own, I suppose. Prince did say that even after all this is over, everything's still going to be the same in regards to how everybody's God's got a different name and how none of our holy books are the same. So, potato, potato, I suppose, maybe. I'm not going to judge. I did my job. But I told my friends, or my friend Jared, and he told his family, and they all did. They all prayed. He told his sister and all of them, and everybody listened. There had a few people go, mark your doors. I'm just like, just pray. Just repent. Just pray, okay? If you love Jesus, just do it. Don't ask questions. Just do it. So most everybody did. But that was on April 8th. And then I got to, now going from that, whether they did it or not, I have no idea whatsoever. They could have. They might not have. But, anyway. I'm getting drawing blanks left and right. I think this is God's way of saying spit it out today. Yeah. So, I don't know if it happened or not, but the point is that it didn't make sense to me up until today when I got to thinking about it, that it was on April 8th. So, going back to Exodus, the story, Jehovah tells Moses and Aaron to have them do all this stuff, and he says to tell them that this will be the first month of the year for you from now on until forever. And if you know anything about the Hebrew calendar system and all of that stuff, this month, April, is called Nisan, and Nisan is the first month of the year for the Jews, the Hebrews, the Israelites, I guess you could say. So this is their month, and he says that there's a specific way to do everything. You're not to eat anything that is not necessary. He says, do not eat anything that you don't need. And on Passover, they're not supposed to eat meat. They're supposed to eat kosher foods. They're supposed to eat bread that has no sourdough, unleavened bread, things that they don't need. Now, in saying this, he says that on the 14th of this month, will be a Passover. It will be called Passover, and Passover is going to be is going to be to bring. Oh, it's done in remembrance of me, not me, but of Jehovah. He says in remembrance of me, meaning that every year on the 14th of the first month, and it doesn't mean the 14th literally of April. It means for the calendar system that they have, like on 2016, that Passover fell on the 21st. This year it fell on the 14th, I think. I'm almost sure. 3,000 years later to the date. Exactly. And yeah. So with that, it's to be for remembrance. Now, right now, we have a lot of people doing things that they're not supposed to do, saying things they're not supposed to say, acting ways they're not supposed to act. And one of the biggest things is the thing that keeps popping up, and I'm a full advocate on, is quit eating meat. You're not supposed to. It's murder. So it says in Exodus, he says not to eat anything that is not needed. And this is what I was going to explain to her today, and I've explained to her buttloads of times. I told my friend today. I'm going to tell you now. God, in the beginning, made everything. And everything that he made, after he was done making it, he looked at it and he said that it was good. It was good. So it was good. He made all the animals. He made all the plants and the trees and the birds and the bees and the flowers. And that's like an old 60s song. Good one though. He says, I made all of this, and after he made it, he saw, and it was good. And so it was. And there was no need to kill anything. Everything was good. All good. Now, when you eat meat, well, let's just say it this way. When he said all this stuff was good, he said to Adam, he says, all these green things that are good for you, that I said were good, you can eat. All these fruits, except for that one, in the midst, you can eat. It's good. I saw it. I called it. It was good. So you can eat all this stuff that's good. You can eat the grains. You can eat the vegetation. You can eat the fruits. They're good. There is not a person alive that ever got some major health issue outside of an allergy from eating healthy food, you know? There's just, it's not, and not that I know of. And if there is somebody, then it makes me wonder who's lying, because God made it and it was good. He saw it and it was good. There are no complications from it. Now, sure, if you eat too much of something, that causes a problem, because God says, like in Exodus, eat what you need. What does Prince say in the ride? The live one from the Aladdin something or whatever. He goes, I'm not trying to give you what you want, little girl. I'm trying to give you what you need. And that's the truth. So these things that are good for you, they're good for you. You don't get sick from it. Now, if God intended you to eat meat, then why is it when you ingest it, why do doctors tell you to stop eating red meat? It gives you high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart attacks, heart disease, diabetes, all kinds of things go horribly wrong with your body from eating not just red meat, but all kinds of meat. Fish can make you sick. Fish is bad for you when it's eaten way too, like, in bad consumption. Plus it stinks and it's gross, and why in the hell would you eat a fish? It's gross. But, ew. Ooh. That's something I'll never understand. Blech. Why would you eat a bird? That's gross. It's not, I mean, sure, yeah, everybody's like, it tastes like chicken, but I guarantee you, if you were somebody that had never eaten meat before and you ate meat for the first time, you probably wouldn't like it, because it's not natural. It's just not. It's like eating, there's no difference between our flesh and their flesh. Did you? That's either really scary or really totally awesome, or I'm doing something right. But, that's super cool for me. I think that's awesome. What do you mean? Like, literally, or like, metaphorically? I'll keep talking and I'll wait for your answer. I'm genuinely asking. Anyway, you're just not supposed to eat it. So if you eat these things, you get sick. You have health problems eventually. They're not good for you. When I sang, you know, that's not the first time that this has happened. I think I put that in the video though. That's scary. It's not scary. It's cool, but it's kind of scary. Yeah, so you're just not supposed to eat it. So God at Passover, he says remembrance, whatever. Also, if you look at the days, God put on the 6th day, he finished everything, and on the 7th day he rested. So on the 7th day we're supposed to rest. Now, if this is an Exodus type situation, which it is, that means we're on the B side of it all. So this would be well, April 20th of 2016 would have been the end of the 6th day, and the 7th would have started on April 21st, 2016. So you have that. Now, the craziest thing that I noticed out of all of this is that God kept telling, when God led the people out of Egypt, they started messing up and backsliding, and God would punish them, and they'd be like, what did we do? And he's like, I told you not to do that. He said, don't touch that, and they touched it. So he would let bad things happen. God doesn't cause bad things to happen. He lets bad things happen. So, let me backtrack for just a second. So anyway, he sends this plague upon Egypt. And it kills, obviously, everything that he said it would kill, because God is God, Jehovah is Jehovah, and he don't lie. And he don't make no junk. So, when the angel came, it passed over the people that had their doors marked, and the firstborn of the Pharaoh was dead, and the firstborn of all the children of Egypt were dead, except for the ones that had their doorposts marked. Now, if you look at the way things are today, oh, and he also said, tell them not to exit their homes, to stay indoors and mark them. So that was the gist of that. This year, being the 3,000 years from Exodus, I think it's funny. Oh, and keep in mind that First or Second Peter says that 1 day unto man is like 1,000 years unto Jehovah God, and 1,000 years unto Jehovah God is like 1 day unto man, vice versa. So that being said, 1 day is 1,000 years. So 1 day in Exodus terms, while then it could have been a day, but I don't think so. I think it was the 1,000 years, because that's what corresponds with our historical timelines. I know that there's some places and some people that like to cram it all together, but then it just doesn't add up. What does add up is if it was over the span of 1,000 years. Now, there could have been a virus back then, just like there is right now. The point is right now we've got a virus, a plague. Not a plague. Well, I guess it could be a plague. It's a pestilence. It's a sickness. It's a disease. It's something that can kill you. But what it is that we've got this and it's going on right now. And it come from a bat that somebody ate, which is gross. Who does that? What is freaking wrong with people? You don't eat a bat, but it come from eating a bat. Meat. Things that you're not supposed to eat. On the 3rd day, or from Exodus to now, it would be the 7th day. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm too excited to tell this. I can't think straight. Anyway, they ate meat, and they got sick from it. You got sick from doing something you shouldn't do. What does that remind you of? The Hebrews, the Israelites in the desert after, Egypt. Anyway, he said, don't do it, don't touch it, and they touched it, so he let some stuff happen to him. And then when they said, God, please save us, and he says, well, I told you, and they said, we're sorry. He says, okay. Things got back to normal, and then they started backsliding again. Well, here we are. People are doing things they're not supposed to, ergo eating tiny little innocent bats, and they got sick. And this sickness, because everybody is messing up, effing it off, so to speak. Everybody's getting sick. What was it? Oh. So everybody's getting sick from eating meat. Or from one person eating meat. And I'm going to smoke a cigarette. I shouldn't, but I'm going to. I'm going to go back out in the yard because I'm scared to death of June bugs. Petrified. Oh my God. I will run your mama over to get away from a June bug. I'm not joking. So, anywho, man, I want to sit down or something, but everything's wet. I'm going to sit on the porch step and prop this bad boy up, and then I'm going to smoke my cigarette, and you're not going to watch me do it. Oh, you're all right, Rick. Oh, I love you too. Oh, thank you. She's princess. Okay, come on. She's going to want to sit on this with me. Me fix this here. There we go. Did you see my shirt? It's my Sign of the Times Torch t-shirt. It's awesome. It's pretty much incredible. Perfection. So anywho, People are eating things they're not supposed to eat, and somebody got sick from doing it, and now everybody's sick from doing it. There goes my phone battery again. And spreading like crazy, just like it did in Egypt. But this is the thing that ties it together, is if you think about this firstborn issue, the firstborn, Pharaoh's firstborn, and the firstborn of all of Egypt, which the whole world right now would be considered Egypt because it's lawlessness. Technically, it's Babylon. The firstborn is not meant as in, like, we're so self-centered now that we think of our family as our intermediate family, like the people that we live with, or you know, like mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever. So, but that's not what our family is. It's like what Prince said in his last tour. I can't remember where he was at, but he said something about Flint. He said somebody, okay, I've got it lit, I just haven't smoked it yet. I can't do that in front of the camera. I'll pop out of the frame for a minute to do so, which I'm about to. He says in that concert, he goes, I heard somebody say in the crowd that they had family in Flint. And as much as it's not talked about, as little as it may be known, as quiet as they try to keep it, I think is what he actually said. We all have family in Flint. And that's true. We're all family. We all have, it's just like he says in the Larry King interview. He says to Larry, he says, oh, there's a June bug. Oh my God, I hate them things. That's the only thing that, and then one of them bastards. Oh, I hate them things. Mosquito eaters. They're like giant mosquitoes. They're so creepy. I don't like them either. 1 second. Baby, get out of that. Get out of that. Hey. Hey, get out of that. Ruby, get out of there. It says, let me fix this here. There we go. Okay. He said to Larry King, he goes, it's something about based on trust. He goes, I learned from my father, and my father learned from his father, and his father learned from his father. And he goes, yeah. Larry goes, yeah, so you're going all the way back to Adam. And he goes, right. But see, even Adam had a father. And he goes, oh. And Prince says, yeah, so that, you know, all inspiration comes from God. All things come from God. So we're all family. So, that being said, if you take the firstborn of your family, then that's in that aspect, in that sense, that frame of mind, which should be the frame of mind that we all think on, but we don't anymore. We're worldly viewing, which is why Prince would not sing "We Are the World" at that award show crap, because we're not the world, and we're not the world's children. We're supposed to be children of God, and God says you can serve two masters, or you can only serve one master. You can serve me, or you can serve Mammon, or the earth. You're not supposed to serve anything like that. So, coyotes. Or as my friend's daughter would say, coyotes. So that being said, if you look at the firstborn children, that's going to be all your elderly people. That's going to be all the oldest people of here, or at least the oldest of the generations. And you have, you know, whatever. So you look at COVID and Corona. Who all is dying from it? The old people. Older people. People in their 80s and 90s. People, sometimes 70s. Where I live, there's only been one death where I live. And that was my best friend's grandpa. And the only people that have gotten sick where I live has been his family. His step-grandma got it right after his grandpa got it. And then his mom and dad got it. And then he got it. But luckily, God chose that family to carry that burden, because it is so sad that Papa Jim's not here anymore. He was a good man, and he was a good person, and he didn't deserve to go. But if you think about it, it's a good thing, because Jesus says, that when he heals somebody, that he will bring them peace and he will raise them up. And when he says raise up, he doesn't mean that he's going to pick you up by your shoulders, and stand you on your feet and you're going to be healed. He means I'm going to raise you up, just like he says, I'm going to raise my people up on the third day, which means he's going to catch them up in the clouds. He's going to take them home. And that's what brings them peace. That's why we say when somebody passes, rest in peace. But not going to cry. Sucks. But it's a good thing, because he is the lucky one out of all of us. He got to go home. He's with the Father. He's in the light. I hope. I'm sure. He's a good dude. And he loved Jesus. Whew, he loved Jesus. So, he raised him up. He brought him peace and he raised him up. And luckily, it was that family to carry that burden, because Jared, if you ever see this, which I'll force you to watch it at some point, I will. That's the truth. I will. They're all, I love them to death, don't get me wrong. And I'll never say this again. Ever again. But they are, luckily this time, I gripe at him for this all the time. I keep telling him, you've got to quit stressing out and worrying. You've got to put your faith in God and let God carry it. You got to quit freaking out over everything. But luckily this time, God chose them to carry it, because they are the most paranoid family, hypochondriac prone of anybody I've ever known of in my life. I mean, they're just like crazy paranoid sometimes. I love them. They're great people. They really are. And his mom, oh my God, I love that woman. Whew, I can't convey to you how much I love that woman. And I don't mean that to boast or toot a horn. I mean, I seriously, genuinely, I love her with all of my heart. And so I would die for her, or die for anybody, but man, I would be more than happy to die for that woman. She is epic. She's a kind of person that she sees somebody homeless on the side of the road and she'll go to Walmart and buy them a huge tent just so they'll have someplace to stay. She took care of me when I went through a really bad time in my life. She actually sent me a card this year on my I'm Not a Baby Day, and told me that I was hers, just because she knows that I'm always needing to feel like I belong somewhere, because I never did my whole life, and she makes me feel like I belong. She's an incredible woman. Love her, but she's a little paranoid. She's a little crazy. So with this stuff going around, they were cleaning everything like crazy, and they were not going anywhere. And luckily, this county, the only people to have gotten sick was them. And they're strong enough and they have so much faith and fear in God that they survived it. And they only had one person leave, and that's because he was the oldest. And they just got him by surprise, and it was from an Amazon package, of all things. So, the point is that it's the elderly people that are getting sick, just like it was in Exodus. Is the firstborn. It's our firstborn. It was a plague then, it's a plague now. Yes, I'm finding now that I belong, and that's incredible. That's what I keep telling everybody, is I love my purple family. My God, I love my purple family, because I don't think that people so much know what a family is anymore, and people are so judgmental and picky, and they like to single people out, and they like to have favorites, and it's not right and it's not fair. But at the same time, you can't really blame people for it, because it's the normal. It's not supposed to be, and that's why we're going through the stuff that we're going through, but it is what it is. Prince says in the one song, he says, they are not to be blamed and they are not to be persecuted, just simply ignored. And that's true, but it's also easier said than done. But I work very hard at doing so, and I'm a completely different person. I'm telling you what, 4 years ago, I'm a completely different person than I was 4 years ago. You can ask anybody that knows me. I've always loved God, but I was loving an idea of God that just wasn't true. I was loving the idea and had faith in him. And I think that's the only thing that saved my rear end, was all the faith. I've told anybody that knows me, they'll tell you, And this is not boasting. This is just the one thing that I'm confident in knowing that God's here, God's alive, God's listening, and God loves me. And that's the reason He's kept me safe. When, I mean, there's so many times I shouldn't be here right now. I really shouldn't. There's been a lot of stupid decisions in my life. Not necessarily stupid decisions, but just not thinking about things and putting myself in places I shouldn't have been, or in just really weird moments in my, like the lightning thing 2 years ago. Like that. I should, like, not be here. Something really bad should have happened to me. But it didn't. I was just, like, overamped for a week. But I should have gotten hurt, and I didn't. What's the matter, Ruby? Anyway, let me set this up here. That's why I love my purple family. But I have more faith than freaking anything. That's what I've always telling my friends whenever, like Jared, when he would get really upset and stuff, he would kind of start rethinking faith things, and I would say, well, don't worry, I got enough faith for both of us. Man, I got faith for the whole world if they just let me give it to them. Ruby, what are you doing? What's wrong? So anyway, popping out of frame for a second. What? Ooh. What's the matter, pretty? Isn't she beautiful? I love you too. Okay, that's enough, that's enough, that's enough. That's enough, that's enough, that's enough. I love you too. My angel, my better. This little girl right here saved my life. I was really depressed about 6 years ago. I can't believe I'm going to tell you this, but I was really depressed about 6 years ago, and I was not happy. I was miserable. It was bad, but I almost eradicated myself. We'll just say that. I was fixing to leave. Seriously, I was checking out, and she stopped me. She saved my life. She started crying at my feet, and I mean, I was about to put something in, you know, I was about to do it. You know, on Thieves in the Temple, where he goes, yeah, that's what I was fixing to do. I think he does it in Purple Rain too. And she started crying at my feet, like she knew it was fixing to happen. And then she started going over to her water bowl and hitting it. And I realized she didn't have any water. And that's when I stopped myself, and I was like, oh my God, she's sitting there crying. And she come to me because she loves me and she trusts me. And then that's when I realized I wasn't alone. And that's when I realized that I had somebody to love. And it's just weird how I got her anyway, because I was praying and I was really sad and upset. And I was telling God, I was just like, I'm so alone. And I've never been this alone. And I don't know how I'm going to handle this. And that evening, we went to Walmart, and there was all these puppies. And she was one of them. And I picked one up that I thought was cute. And I was like, maybe. And I set it down. Well, then this little boy comes up, and he took it. I'm like, well, crap. So I picked this other one up. And I was like, oh, it's cute, but let me see these other two. And so I set it down. And I was certain I was going to get that one. Possibly, you know. And then this little girl comes up, and she grabs the puppy, and then it's gone. And then I see her laying over in the corner, sleeping. And I'm like, you know, I've had like so many black dogs with brown dots on their eyes. It's not even funny. And I'm like, she's sleeping. I mean, she's just going to sleep all the time. That's no fun. And as soon as I went to just give up and just stand up, because there was another black one on top of her. It was all black, and it was super cute. But there just wasn't in the market for a black dog. The other two, one was blue and the other one was black and white. They were really cute. She's adorable. That's my baby. But as soon as I went to stand up, she popped her little head up and then rolled her tongue out and started going at me. And so she stood up and she went over to the edge of the little gate thing that they had set up. And she just gets up there, and I go, hi, little girl. And she goes, and I was done. I was done. I stick a fork in me. I was done. I pick her up, and I didn't set her down for like 5 months. I'm not kidding you. Like, I held her constantly. And I named her Bitty Baby Ree. And that's my baby. And she's a princess. I love her so much. God gave her to me. But yeah, I don't even know why we're talking about this now. Oh, family. So yeah, that's my girl, and I love her, and I'd die for her too. Chasing rabbits now. So anyways, back to this thing. The point is that COVID's doing all of this just like it did in Exodus. We're having it. But it's exactly 3,000 years from Exodus. Exactly right on time, as everything predicts, as everything says. Ecclesiastes tells you that there isn't anything under the sun that's new. There isn't anything that's happened that's not already happened. And there's nothing that has happened that is not going to happen again, basically, in a nutshell. So history repeats itself. Everything that is has already been. And it's kind of like Prince says, he says in one of his interviews, and I think this is probably the reason why I can link that together, along with everything else. He says that he goes, I think the other 90s was better suited for that. It's a song. He says, I think the other 90s was better suited for that biz. Back when Dick was effing Liz. The song we was listening, you sent me a while ago that your subscriber was doing, that one. He says the other 90s was better suited for that biz. There's a radio interview that he does, and I freaking love it. Oh my God, I love it. I can't remember what he says. He's talking about time, and he says that he thinks that everybody's lying to us about what time it is. And he says that I don't think that it's 2010 or 2012, something like that. Get away from me. Days of Wild, yeah. He says that, hold on, popping out of frame for a second. Put that there. Okay. I think my phone battery's gonna kaput again. Yep, we're gonna go in. He says that I think that, because he's talking about commercials. I don't know. I'm gonna have to find that and then I'll post it so you can see it, or send it to you on Messenger. Ooh, that thing is like right there. Gross. I really don't want to hurt you, homie, but you gotta move out the way. Okay. This is not working out like I planned. Oh my God, gross. Alright, come on, Riri. We're gonna fly in the house. I'll be right back. Come on, Riri. Riri. Come on. Come on, Riri. Riri. Come on. Come on, get in the house. Yeah. Ninjas. Riri. We're ninjas. We just did that with not letting one of them in the house, and there was like 87,000 of them. I should have like an award for that. There we go. So, yepper. Let me shut the door, I'll be right back. Actually, what time is it? 10:40. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm gonna end this here in just a minute too. Hold on one second. Okay. So, anywho, to wrap it all up, I guess, the point is that it's mirroring each other. It's happening all over again, just like it's supposed to. Prince predicted it. He predicted all this. Oh my God, I can't even convey to you how much he did so. It's in Silicon. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to tell you too. Is in that song Silicon. I think I have it on my tablet already pulled up. One second. Do you know what silicon is? It's what they use to make computer chips. But it's a natural element. But women use it for breast implants and some other gross stuff, I think. and you know, and lay down. He says, maybe if your girlfriend wouldn't have the surgery, maybe she could see what I see. I think maybe that might be something about it. Maybe, I don't know. Could be. But anybody that says he's not who he is, they're stupid. Yeah. He says on a magical rope of silicon, you can bet that they'll be chilling in Babylon, thinking about a way that they can split the proton. You eating on a bloody chicken and dead prawn, Mickey D. shake, and a filet mignon, swearing up and down you the picture of perfect health. Now come on. And then it goes down to say, leave that blood alone. Don't you know that dead blood kills interferons? Make the immune system a victim to whereupon any known virus can boot up and log on to you.com. Yeah, he says this is why you was looking for me. Check it. Let's talk about you and this con. If you're getting bored, don't front and just yawn, because this is the kind of stuff that requires patience. Don't think, just wax on. If you are the eye that is the pawn, which concerns me big time. Because, what song is it? Oh, she can play with the toy and squeak it. He says, if you are the eye that is the pawn, you beget the dead fruit of Armageddon. Now, or Armageddon, whatever. If you remember his song with Maite, the 2020, he says, when the voice inside has you entertain the absurd, or when the voice you hear tells you to entertain the absurd, that's when you unlock the apocalypse in which you've heard, in which unlocks the apocalypse in which you've heard of, or whatever. She's gonna bark. So he's saying in that one, if you get a weird idea and you do it, hold on. No, that's enough. This is all you get. And you got a dinner right there. You need to eat it. I'm not giving you no more till you do. I mean, hello, girl. You have that. And you have that. No more. No more, and I mean it. I mean it. Okay, sorry. So he's saying that when you get the idea, you get a crazy idea, something inside you tells you to do something crazy or stupid or something silly, and when you entertain that idea, that's when you unlock the apocalypse in which you've heard of. And then here he's telling you, if you are the eye that is the pawn, you beget the dead fruit of Armageddon. There's a connection there, and I'm not sure what that is. I just noticed this, so that scares me. He's got a weird way of putting eye drops, like, not eye drops, but you know what I mean. Saying the word eye. It's really weird. You know, the way my name works, and this is gonna sound stupid, I hope nobody ever watches this. All the first of it, just not this part, because it makes me sound so freaking crazy. But I was going by Ame, only because my friend used to call me Ayla, and I don't know why, but it just kind of stuck, and I used to go by A, but then I heard one day, in which I've heard it a billion times, but for some reason that day I just really heard it, and like I said, it was like 4 years ago. He says, never ever go by the letter. I'm like, ooh. And then the day after that happened, I just got finished watching The Walking Dead, and after The Walking Dead goes off, it goes to this show called Talking Dead. And on The Talking Dead, they will read your tweets that you tweet out while you're watching the show Walking Dead live. You're live tweeting. And boy, I used to be about that. Let me tell you what. Every Sunday it was just watching it and going off. And one day, and I've got a video of this. It's on my Twitter account. It's on my Instagram. I should totally put that on YouTube. I forgot about that. But Chris Hardwick, who's the host of the show, and so I've got like my little Walking Dead family. I'm not as attached to that anymore as I used to be. I don't live stream or I don't live tweet anymore, but I still watch the show. That's gonna be something I don't think I can quit. And I don't even know if I should, but whatever. He read one of my tweets that I had tweeted, and it was a really stupid one too. I was like disappointed because it's like I finally got one of my tweets read on TV, and not that I was even trying. I didn't even care about that. It's just like, man, out of all the tweets I've ever tweeted, you picked this gay thing to, I shouldn't say that because people get butthurt. This really stupid tweet to read on national television. Oh my gosh. But he said my name wrong. But then I realized that he said my name right, and I was saying it wrong the whole time. He says, I may of NOM, no mountain, or I may have NOM tweeted, and then he read my tweet to the girl that her character I was tweeting about. And I was like, I may. And then I realized that, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot because AYE, she's gonna cough. Easy. You're right. Easy, easy. Easy. Don't die. Is there bones in it? Oh, poor wee wee. Come here. Don't. You've had enough. Get up here. Now. I'll beat her butt. I would never hit my dog. Come here. Get up here. Come on. Come on. You want some ice cream? If I get an ice cream sandwich, you want to eat ice cream with me? You gotta get up here and lay down. Come on. We love ice cream. And frozen yogurt. But anyway. She wants ice cream. 1 second, we'll get some. Anyway, I realized that I was saying my name wrong the whole time. The AYE is not. I'm an idiot, and I knew this, but I don't know why. It is what it is. So I thought, okay, well, never ever go by the letter. The next day, it's like, I may, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm I may. And it kind of stuck. Everybody started calling me that. And, so it is what it is. But he has they're just really weird. It's like, you know the song, what is it? I can't remember off the top of my head what the damn name is. Would you wander the wilderness looking for a king, or would you settle for this and a sea of everything? He says, oh, what does that sound? 1 second. 1 second. No, don't do that. Open the damn thing. What is this? Sea of Everything. That's what it's called. Hi, Cosmic, you're back. Hey. I'm talking crazy talk right now. We're actually fixing to end the live stream here in just a minute, but, hi. Just don't mind the last 15 minutes of the video. I sound like an idiot. Sea of Everything is the name of the song. And PBC, you don't understand. If I ever told you everything, you'd be crazy too, because you would believe it. You can't not believe it. My best friend Jared is the only other person that knows everything, and even he is a believer. Stop it. I will go get an ice cream sandwich in just a minute. Yeah, we say in just a minute. I baby talk my dog. It's alright. Sea of every... Let me finish typing it. Shh. Oh my god, Ree, stop. That's enough. Knock it. I'm gonna hold your mouth this whole time then. Ew. She's not gonna let me click the button. It's like, there it is, and I need to click it. Shh. Stop it. Shh. Watch that too, little girl. What? Look at this. Watch this. Well, I can't. Never mind. My cord's not gonna let me. Enough. Okay, there's enough. Shh. It's enough. I love you, but you couldn't shut up. Okay, so he says, no reason to care what people say. I don't care. But the keys are so far away. No need to say, no need. Oh, I would die. Say mama. Say mama. What? Say mama. Say mama. Say mama. Say mama. Mama. Okay. She's the coolest dog in the world. I will be right back. I'm gonna go get her an ice cream sandwich. Just 1 second. Sorry. Golly, that is enough. Rotten to the core. You know that, little girl? Okay, I am back. I'm sorry. Uh-oh, did I lose somebody? What time is it? I bet I lost. I don't know, but I lost somebody. It says there's one person. Might have to end this. It's already 11 o'clock. Who's here with me? Is it still Cosmic? Or is it PVC? Or did it freeze up or something? We might have froze up. Okay, well, I guess I will go ahead and end this live stream. I love you guys bunches. Yeah. I guess I'll catch y'all in the next one. I love you bunches. Love God always with everything you have, because He loves you and His love is free. And it's the greatest love in the world because it's unconditional and it's loyal. And stop eating meat. Don't eat it. It's not good for you. Dead blood kills interferons. Interferons fight COVID, prevent COVID, kick COVID's ass. And it's wrong. So don't eat meat. Wash your hands. Love one another. Always. Love God. He loves you. I love you unconditionally, irrevocably. You can't make me stop. So I guess I will catch y'all on the next one. And have a good night. Stay beautiful and blessed and know you are loved. And yeah. Bye.